On New Canadians today, we're joined by Paul Carter, who is a mentor and online resource developer at CanAvenue, an online learning platform with Canadian settlement at its focus for newcomers. Let's learn more about the platform from him. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
Firstly, for newcomers who are moving to the country, it's so important for them to have a smooth transition and integration. And online learning platforms such as yours can be very beneficial for them in that. Tell us more about it, please.
So when newcomers come to Canada, there are so many things they need to learn, including language, all the different settlement topics that need to be covered. So CanAvenue was set up in such a way that they can practice their English, but at the same time they're learning about settlement in Canada, Canadian topics, Canadian issues, things that they'll need to know when they're living here, and different ways that they can connect with the community as well, so they can become a greater integrated part of Canadian society faster than they would without something like CanAvenue to help them.
Now let's dive deeper into the English online language learning that you have. Is it for individuals? Is it for groups? Tell us more about that, please.
Well, it's for individuals, but newcomers who'd like to can work with their family or friends on the site. So it's something that they can do collaboratively with others. There's many different topic areas on the site. So one that's very important to many is citizenship. Also an introduction to formal language training in Canada, or the LINK programs that are available to newcomers. So there's a large selection of ebooks and audiobooks to help them practice reading and listening. There's also many different activities on many Canadian topics for writing and speaking as well. In addition to that, there's a pronunciation course, so learners can practice pronunciation and making the sounds of English from the comfort of their own home without anyone around to make them embarrassed or to be worried about how they're doing. So it's a very exciting opportunity for learners to have a site where they can go, they can learn on their own, at their own pace, anywhere, anytime. As long as they have an internet and an email address, they can access CanAvenue and all the resources inside. There's also a section of English practice, which is ranging from CLB 4 to CLB 8. And in that area, there's reading, writing, listening, and speaking activities that cover a whole range of Canadian topics that will help learners to both settle in Canada and improve their language skills at the same time.
In terms of eligibility and accessibility, can you tell us more if newcomers can access the platform from anywhere, or do they need to be just in Canada?
Yes, definitely available pre-arrival. That's a specific area that we wanted to address. Newcomers who aren't even in Canada yet but want to get a head start practicing their English. But at the same time, once they have arrived in Canada, they're still eligible to use the site, especially if they're on a waiting list or unable to get into a course because of family commitments or job schedules, busy life. And then at the same time, once a student has gone through the formal language training process in Canada, if they've used up their eligibility or they've become a citizen, so no longer able to go to the class, they can still come to CanAvenue to continue to practice. So it could be used by newcomers pre-arrival, upon arrival, or after they've been in Canada for some time and just want to continue to practice improving their English skills.
And lastly, for those who are just getting started with this platform, what would be your three main tips on how they can have a smooth integration in the program and onwards?
Well, once you've signed up for CanAvenue, there's a lot of resources that are available to you within the site. One of those is a student record sheet. So it's very important for a learner to not just go in and do activities randomly without keeping track of what they've done. So the record sheet gives them a place to keep track of what they're doing, what their success was, their score, what they'd like to do next. And it's a way to give themselves a learning path so that they have some guidance and a path to follow so they don't feel lost on the site. And they'll be able to sort of follow through and continue their learning in a way that's beneficial to them, while at the same time following their own interests and their own needs. In addition to that, a student on CanAvenue, a tip for them would be to take it outside the website, to really immerse themselves in Canadian society as much as they can, and to take what they've learned from CanAvenue and apply it in real life. Practice speaking at the store, at the bank, when you go out to the community center, maybe joining a group, a place to get in contact with Canadians and to hear the language in the real context that it's living in here in Canada. Finally, one last tip that I would give would be for learners to just keep practicing, keep coming back to the site. If you've read one book, read another. If you've listened to an audiobook, listen to another. Try the quizzes, try the different activities, and just keep pushing yourself forward. Keep practicing as much as possible, both online and in the real world as much as you can.
Thank you so much, Paul, for joining us, for sharing your time and this advice.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.